Hey Reddit, I'm Daniel, 26. A few weeks ago, I got hit with a court summons out of nowhere. My ex-wife was demanding child support, except there was just one problem. The kid wasn't mine. I thought it was some kind of mistake. But when I showed up in court and saw her smirk, I knew this was no accident. She planned this. And what happened next? I guarantee she never saw it coming. I was having a normal day. Nothing special. Just working, grabbing coffee, trying to enjoy my drama-free life. Then I got the letter. A thick, official-looking envelope with my full name printed across the front. I had a bad feeling before I even opened it. And the second I saw the words, child support claim, I read it 3 times. It had to be a mistake. Had to be some kind of mix-up. Because I don't have any kids. And the woman suing me? My ex-wife. The same ex-wife I divorced 2 years ago. The same ex-wife who cheated, drained our savings, and walked out like she'd done nothing wrong. And now, she was coming after me for child support. For a kid that, last time I checked, wasn't even mine. I grabbed my phone, dialed her number. I knew I shouldn't. I knew it was a bad idea. But I needed to hear her say it. To hear her admit this was some kind of mistake. She answered on the 3rd ring. Daniel, she said, voice sickly sweet. Like we were old friends. Like she hadn't just tried to screw me over. What a surprise, she continued. I wasn't expecting to hear from you. I gritted my teeth. Cut the crap, Vanessa. I got the letter. What the hell is this? She sighed dramatically. Daniel, I really didn't want to do this, but you left me no choice. I laughed, sharp and bitter. I left you no choice? You cheated on me and took half my money. You've got some nerve trying to... She cut me off. This isn't about us. It's about my child. Your child, Daniel. My blood boiled. You and I both know that's a damn lie. She tooted. You were my husband. Legally. That makes you responsible. That's when I realized. She wasn't just hoping I'd roll over. She was confident she could pull this off. Like she had some kind of plan. And suddenly, I wasn't just angry. I was furious. And I was going to make sure this backfired in the worst way possible. I wasn't going to argue over the phone. Wasn't going to play her stupid games. So I hung up, took a deep breath, and called my lawyer. Hey, Alex, I said, gripping my phone tight. You're not going to believe this. I wasn't about to let my cheating ex-wife scam me for child support. Not when I had zero involvement in this mess. Not when I knew, without a doubt, that kid wasn't mine. But Vanessa? She was confident. And that meant one thing, she had a plan. I just had to figure out what it was before she took this any further. Alex, my lawyer, didn't even sound surprised when I told him. She's trying to use a loophole, he said, voice sharp and calculated. In some states, if you were married at the time of birth, the court assumes the husband is the father, regardless of biology. My stomach turned. So, she's actually got a case? She has an argument, not a case, Alex corrected. But she's hoping you won't fight it. If you don't show up, the judge could rule in her favor by default. Of course. That's why she had been so smug. She thought I'd panic. She thought I'd fold. She thought I'd hand her free money without even questioning it. I clenched my jaw. She has no idea who she's messing with. Alex chuckled. That's the spirit. I wasn't going to just defend myself. I was going to prove, beyond a doubt, that this woman was a fraud. That meant I needed information. So I went digging. I spent hours scrolling through Vanessa's social media. And let me tell you, this woman was shameless. Her entire Instagram was just pictures of her new life. Expensive dinners, designer bags, trips to luxury resorts. And then I saw it, a picture of her son, the kid she was suing me over. And next to him, a guy I didn't recognize. Dark hair, light stubble, arm casually draped over Vanessa's shoulder. The caption, family is everything, I narrowed my eyes. Who the hell was this guy? And why wasn't he the one paying child support? It clicked instantly. Vanessa wasn't after support for her kid. She was after revenge. She wanted my money simply because she could, because I had moved on, because I had rebuilt my life without her, and she hated that. So she wanted to make me pay, literally. But she made a huge mistake. She left a trail, and I was going to use it against her. Court was in 2 weeks. I had 14 days to prepare, so I started planning. Step 1, gather evidence. Step 2, find out who the mystery guy was. Step 3, make sure Vanessa regretted ever messing with me. And as luck would have it only took 2 days to find out the truth. A buddy of mine worked in real estate. Turns out he had seen Vanessa's boyfriend before, and not just anywhere, at a house Vanessa recently bought. Meaning, this guy was living with her, which meant he was the real father. Not me, not even close. I called Alex. "I found the dad," I said. "Good," he replied. "Now let's make sure Vanessa knows she's screwed." And so we waited for our court date, waited for Vanessa to step into her own trap, because she thought I was an easy target. She thought I wouldn't fight back. And soon, she was going to find out just how wrong she was. Vanessa thought she had me cornered. She thought I'd panic. She thought I'd fold. She thought I'd just hand her a fat paycheck every month for a kid that wasn't even mine. But she had no idea I was 10 steps ahead. Court was in 2 days, and I had everything I needed to ruin her plan. I walked into that courthouse feeling confident, not cocky, not arrogant, just calm, because I had proof. I had her social media posts. I had her boyfriend's name. I had receipts. And most importantly, I had a DNA test. Not mine, but hers. Vanessa made one fatal mistake. She never thought I'd check hospital records, never thought I'd track down the birth certificate, and never thought I'd get a copy of the real father's signed acknowledgement. But I did, and she had nowhere to run. Vanessa waltzed in like she had already won. She was smiling, chatting with her lawyer, acting like this was just a formality, like today was just about me signing a check. She didn't even look at me, not once. She just sat down, crossed her legs, and waited for the judge. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The judge walked in, banged the gavel. "Let's begin." Vanessa's lawyer stood up first. "Your Honor, my client is simply requesting fair compensation to help raise her child. Mr. Daniels was married to my client at the time of birth, and legally, I tuned him out. I already knew what he was going to say. Therefore, he is financially responsible." Blah, blah, blah. Same script, different scam. Then the judge turned to me. "Mr. Daniels, do you have a response?" I stood up. "Yes, Your Honor, I do." And then I set the whole thing on fire. I took a deep breath, and then I said it. "Your Honor, this entire claim is built on a lie." The judge raised an eyebrow. Vanessa's lawyer scoffed. "Vanessa?" Her smirk twitched. I turned to her. "You claim I'm the father. You claim I'm legally responsible. But there's just one problem, Vanessa." I pulled out a folder. "I have evidence that not only am I not the father, but you already know who is." Her face paled. "Objection," her lawyer snapped. But the judge held up a hand. "Let's see it, Mr. Daniels." I walked up, handed the documents over. The judge skimmed the first page, and his entire expression changed. The courtroom went silent. Then the judge looked up. "Ms. Taylor, do you have an explanation for this?" Vanessa's mouth opened and closed, like a fish gasping for air. Her lawyer turned to her, whispering frantically, but it was too late, because the documents, the ones sitting right in front of the judge, included a copy of the birth certificate, listing another man as the father, hospital records, proving Vanessa knew from the start, screenshots of her Instagram, showing her with the actual father, The judge turned back to her. Ms. Taylor, do you understand the severity of making a false claim in this court? Vanessa's hands were shaking. Her lawyer leaned in, hissing something under his breath. Probably something like, "You didn't tell me any of this." Because guess what? She thought she could get away with it. She thought I'd be too dumb, too weak, too scared to fight back. She was wrong. The judge sighed. This case is dismissed. Bang. Gavel down. Vanessa's face? Pure horror. But then the judge continued. Furthermore, Mr. Daniels, if you wish to pursue legal action against Ms. Taylor for filing a fraudulent claim, you have every right to do so. I turned to Vanessa. Her face was white as a sheet. Her lips were trembling. And for the first time in her life, she looked scared. And I wasn't done. Not even close. Vanessa thought she could walk away from this. She thought she could just brush it off, flash that fake innocent smile, and move on like she hadn't just tried to scam me in court. But she was wrong. Because the second the judge dismissed the case and offered me the chance to press charges, I knew. I wasn't going to let this slide. Not this time. Not after everything she put me through. Vanessa stormed out of the courtroom before I could even stand up. Her lawyer chased after her, whispering furiously, probably telling her how badly she screwed up. Alex turned to me, looking amused. Well, that was satisfying. I exhaled. Yeah, but we're not done yet. He raised an eyebrow. You're really going through with it? I clenched my jaw. She tried to ruin my life. She tried to take my money, my reputation, everything. If I let her get away with this, she'll just do it to someone else. Alex nodded. All right, let's make sure she never tries this again. That same day, Alex started the process. Fraud, attempted financial deception, and wasting the court's time with a false claim. It didn't take long for word to spread. People talk. And in our city, Vanessa wasn't exactly low-key. She loved attention. She loved playing the luxury lifestyle game, posting designer bags, expensive dinners, fake influencer garbage. But now, she had a brand new reputation. A scammer, a liar, and it was about to get a whole lot worse. A week later, I got a call. Not from Vanessa, from her boyfriend. Yeah, the guy she had been parading around social media. The guy who was actually the father of the kid she tried to pin on me. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. So I picked up, and the first thing I heard, "Dude, I had no idea." I sat up. "What?" She told me she handled everything, that you agreed to the child support. I didn't know she actually took you to court. I scoffed. She was hoping I'd roll over. She didn't expect me to fight back. There was silence. Then he sighed. She's been acting weird ever since. Panicked. Stressed. Now I know why. I leaned forward. She didn't tell you I'm pressing charges, did she? He exhaled sharply. No, but that makes sense. And then he said something that made me pause. Look, I don't know if you care, but I think she's planning to leave the country. I blinked. What? She mentioned something about moving to Mexico. Said she needed a fresh start. My jaw tightened. She was running, like the coward she was. She wasn't even going to face the consequences. I clenched my fists. Thanks for telling me. No problem, he muttered. I don't want any part of this mess. And with that, he hung up. I called Alex immediately. She's trying to flee, I said. He sighed. Of course she is. What do we do? We file for a court order, he said smoothly. She's already under investigation. If we move quickly, we can have her passport flagged. I smirked. Let's do it. 2 days later, I got a text from Vanessa. The first one since the lawsuit fell apart. It was short, desperate. Vanessa, please. We need to talk. I stared at my phone, shook my head. Too late. Way too late. I didn't even bother responding, because by then, I already knew what had happened. Vanessa had gone to the airport, tried to board a flight, only to be denied. Because when you commit fraud, when you try to scam the wrong person, eventually, it catches up to you. Vanessa didn't just lose the case. She didn't just lose her reputation. She lost everything. The fraud charges stuck. She had to pay fines. She had to pay for the legal fees she tried to throw at me. And the best part? She was now on probation, meaning if she ever tried to scam another person, she'd be going to jail. For real. Even after everything that happened, part of me thought Vanessa would try something else. A last-ditch effort, a fake apology, some desperate plea for sympathy. But she didn't, because she couldn't. Her record was tainted, her reputation destroyed, and with the fraud charges, she was under watch for the foreseeable future. A month after everything settled, I got one final text. It was from an unknown number, but I knew exactly who it was. Vanessa, I hope you're happy. You ruined my life. I stared at the message, read it twice. Then I laughed, because the truth, I didn't ruin her life. She did that to herself. And I just made sure she didn't get away with it. With that, I deleted the message, blocked the number, and finally moved on for good.